In this video, we're going to talk about 9.1 Objective 4, where we find null and alternative hypotheses and state possible conclusions for hypothesis tests. This is probably the hardest part of hypothesis testing for students, so pay really close attention to this section, as this is the primary part of the setup and the conclusion. The calculations in the middle are fairly easy compared to this. So let's go ahead and get started here. State the null and alternative hypotheses for a hypothesis test and indicate whether the hypothesis test will be left-tailed, right-tailed, or two-tailed, and clearly state the two possible conclusions that address the given claim. So the quality control manager of a manufacturing company claims that the proportion, so we're doing a P, parameter here, proportion of defective carbon monoxide detectors is greater than 0.04. So we have a claim that is a statement of inequality, which means that we could, have a, there's our claim. We could have a statement of equality like A. I don't like writing an equal to sign for this. I like writing the logical opposite of less than or equal to. It's clearer to me. I know that a lot of books just like to be kind of lazy and write the equal to sign for everything because it works. I don't. I like you to think about the logical opposite of greater than is less than or equal to. So while A is technically correct, I would fix this and would say that H naught should have been written as P less than or equal to 0.04, and HA is P greater than, strictly greater than 0.04, and I'm going to put a little asterisk next to my HA because that's where my claim is. So the hypothesis test is going to have a rejection region in the direction of HA. So it's going to be right-tailed. Because greater than is over here. So this is where my alpha is going to be. Whenever we figure out what alpha is, and we can reject the null hypothesis that the proportion of defective detectors is, and they're going to say equal to, I would say less than or equal to, but they're going to say equal to. It needs to have equal to in it. I would say here less than or equal to 0.04, in which case there is evidence in support of the claim that the proportion of defective detectors is greater than 0.04. Or we do not reject the null hypothesis. We fail to reject the null hypothesis, be how you hear me say that, in which case there's not enough evidence to support the claim that the proportion of defective detectors is greater than 0.04. So let's just fill in those blanks. We have right-tailed, we have null, we have to choose equal to here, even though that's not my choice, in support of, null, and support. We always use the word reject with the null hypothesis, and we always use the word support with the alternative hypothesis. They go together. So you see that we either reject or we fail to reject null, and we have enough evidence to support, or we don't have enough evidence to support. the alternative. Let's keep going here. State the null and alternative hypothesis for the hypothesis test. Indicate whether the hypothesis test will be left-tailed, right-tailed, or two-tailed, and clearly state the two possible conclusions that address the given claim. So a quality control manager and a manufacturing company claims that the proportion of defective transistors is less than 0.1, less than 10%. So less than 0.1, that's a good option. Yeah, that's it. It's got to be C here. And again, I don't like this laziness of using equal to for everything. If this is a less than statement, this should be a greater than or equal to statement. And this is my claim in HA again. So the hypothesis test will be left-tailed because it's going to the left. We can reject the null hypothesis that it is, and again, they're going to say equal to. I'm going to say greater than or equal to. And then this would be, if we reject null, we have evidence in support of the claim that the proportion of defective transistors is less than 0.1%. So let me fill in those blanks. This is left-tailed, null, equal to, in support of, or we do not reject the null hypothesis, in which case there's not enough evidence to support the claim. Hopefully we get one where the claim is in H naught here pretty soon. State the null and alternative hypothesis for a hypothesis test and indicate whether the hypothesis test will be left-tailed, right-tailed, or two-tailed, and clearly state the possible conclusions that address the given claim. A human resource manager claims that less than 1% of new hires fail their background checks. So less than 1% would be this one. Again, I'm going to write this as greater than or equal to as the logical opposite of less than, but the claim is in HA. Doesn't always have to be in HA. It just has been in HA in the last 3 examples here. So the hypothesis test will be left-tailed. You can reject the null hypothesis. And then they're going to say equal to here. They're trying to emphasize equality, but we have 3 types of symbols that have equality. We have equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. That these can be H naught things, and they'll be paired with things in HA that are not equal to, strictly less than, or strictly greater than. This is two-tailed. This is left-tailed, one-tailed to the left. This is one-tailed to the right. Just so you know where I'm going with this. So if I have a greater than or a less than statement in HA, like I have right now, I pair that with greater than or equal to. That's just how it rolls for me. in which case there is evidence to support, in support of, they say, in support of the claim, or we reject the null and there's not evidence to support the claim. So left-tailed, null, again, equal to, I'm going to say that this should be greater than or equal to in support of, this was null, this was support. Hope we get something a little bit different now. The bookstore owner claims that the proportion of people who read books in print is not equal to 0.21. Well, that's definitely different. So proportion not equal to 0.21 is clearly opposite of proportion equal to 0.21. So that is this one. And this is going to be two-tailed because the not equal to situation has a rejection region in the right and in the left. You reject if it's too big or too small. So we can reject the null hypothesis. The proportion of people that read books in print is equal to, finally I agree with them, in which case there is evidence in support of the claim that the proportion of people is not equal to 0.21, or we do not reject the null hypothesis, in which case there's not enough evidence to support the claim. So this is two-tailed, null, equal to, in support of, null, and support. All right, now we get to some stuff where there's a video to watch, and I'm not going to watch the video on stream with you all. I'm going to let you all watch the video, but any of these things that say .fc something, or there's flow charts that they're going to show you in a video. So, but I'll just go ahead and answer these questions for you that go with these videos. Which one of the following is the symbolic form of the claim that at least 60% of adults vote? So that's a proportion, 60%, and at least means greater than or equal to. So there we go. It's B. Which of the following is a symbolic form of the claim the mean weight in grams of houseflies is more than 0.002 grams? So mean greater than 0.002. What I want you to see here is that this statement, because it has equality in it, would have to be a part of H naught. And this one, since it has strict inequality, has to be HA. So I want you to start picking up on that H naught has equality in it and HA is strictly inequality. Given the claim that at least 60% of adults vote, which of the following is a symbolic form that must be true when the original claim is false? So what's the logical opposite of this claim that says greater than or equal to? So our HA is going to have to be strictly less than. So that is going to be B. This is going to be an HA when our H naught was, sorry, This is a P. This is D. P less than 60%, our H naught would have been P greater than or equal to 60%. All right. Given the claim that at least 60% of adults vote, which is the following is the symbolic form of the null hypothesis. I just said that up there. And so that is here. Again, don't be lazy and always put equal to 60% for the null hypothesis just because it works. Read the problem and it says at least, and at least translates to greater than or equal to, at most is less than or equal to. This is also no more than, no more than, and no less than. There are a couple other ways to say those things. And you know that you can say greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. And if we have this, we'll say more than, we'll say less than. If we have not equal to, we'll usually make some statement about different than, and that implies that it would be a rejection region to the left and the right where it's too big or too small. Okay, let's keep going here with our last problem, number 9. Which of the following is not a valid expression for an alternative hypothesis? They use H1 for their alternatives. To know that, I've been writing HA the whole time. I think I've seen them writing HA sometimes, but the video here uses null hypothesis as H sub 0 and alternative hypothesis as H sub 1. That's one of the ways in which we can do that. So alternative hypothesis is never going to have a statement of equality in it. So B is the one that's incorrect because it's got an equal to sign in it. It's allowed to be strictly greater than, strictly less than, or not equal to, but it can't have an equal to sign in it for an alternative hypothesis. All right, that's it for this video, and we'll come back next time and talk about 9.1 Objective 5. See you for the next video.